I would like to invite Professor Adhikari for his closing remarks, and then after that we'll be done with the program.
Dr. Ricard, Dr. Koirala, and all the friends present here, it is a great opportunity for me. When Dr. Koirala mentioned that Dr. Ricard is going to speak, then suddenly I remember reading his book almost 20 years back. He had a conversation with his father, a philosopher, man committed to modern scientific ways of thinking, and himself a scientist who has decided to follow this path. So when he said that, I was very happy that I went back and the book is still with me.
We did the book here in the parking.
Okay, it's there.
Yes.
Oh, you had that book there.
In Hatibak, yes.
Thank you, thank you. So I was looking forward to this occasion, but I didn't know that I'll have to be speaking. I was asked to offer vote of thanks. I was going to say that thank you very much. It was a very good talk and stop at that. But I think after listening to Dr. Ricard, I'd like to say a few things about this whole process. Number one, it sounds very difficult, this establishment of chaos. When Dr. Koirala brought this subject, when he asked me for my help or sort of being part of it, I was a little bit skeptical. I said, okay, it is very difficult, but we'll support you and support us. But he has a track record. I have seen him since the days of his training. And the way he has turned around the services and made it available, there is a great change under his leadership, with his dynamism and with his example. People like Prof. Sharma and his team. And now the people who are working in Ganganal Hospital, even Manmohan Cardiothoracic Center, they are providing such excellent services. So it is doable. That time when he joined Ganganal Hospital, we are not sure what is going to happen, but that happened within a very short period of time. So that is one thing that prompted me, sort of motivated me that yes, this is a program, this is a project which is doable. He has shown it by his example. And another thing is, I must narrate this story. I have told this many times in presence of Dr. Koirala, but I like to share one story. We are traveling to Surkhet, almost a year back. Almost a year back. And Dr. Koirala was there, myself, Dr. Arjun Karki was also there, I think. I saw him somewhere. And there was one more colleague of ours. Then we are traveling by air, so we are sitting in the bus to go to the aircraft. A couple came with a child, mother with his child, sat next to me, and I looked at the child. The child had circummoral cyanosis, looked dusky. So I said, did the child have heart disease? And she said, yes. We are just coming from Ganganal Hospital 7 days back. The operation was done. Then that is all with, but the father came and sat next to me, then he started telling me the whole story. The father was a school teacher from Daidek. He had a child who started losing weight, not gaining weight, and having fast breathing. By the age of 6 months, they had to take him to Surkhet Hospital. Then he was diagnosed with a congenital heart disease, and he was referred to Kathmandu. First, when they came to Ganganal Hospital, they were advised to go to a pediatric hospital where the child will be cured of his infection and severe malnutrition and will gain some weight so that operation could be done. So they finally found a place in Patan Hospital. They stayed there for almost 35 days. They cured the infection, fed the child well, and the child gained weight. And after that, the patient was sent to Ganganal Hospital, and surgery was quite uneventful. After 5 days, the patient was discharged. So he was telling me that a school teacher from a rural area is able to get his child's condition treated of such a complicated type because people like you. And he said, is that for you, Dr. Peral? So that gave inspiration that, okay, this is doable and it has to be done. There is a great hope in people's mind that if these people put their hands together, things can be done. So I think this is a challenge. This is very, very moving experience that I had. So I think it is doable and somebody must do. It is easy to say that it can be done. It is very difficult. Who will help? Nothing, you know. Nepal is things. I'll tell you one story again. There is a Ankila Sherpa. I was dean or campus Institute of Medicine. I was coming out of the teaching hospital. Then she met me. She knew me. So I said, Tasha, what is this? What happened? She had gone to pay her bills. Probably the bill was around 79 or 83 rupees or something like that. And the person in the counter said, he said, there is no change. Then she said, how come? You are sitting here and taking money from all the people. How can you must have changed? She started shouting and fighting. Then she said, Nepal yastai ho. के गर्नु छ दिदी एकछिन पछि आउनुस् न नेपाललाई दोष नदिए आफू चाहिँ incompetent. You are incompetent yourself and you are blaming the country. So this is another thing that is happening. Don't blame the country for your incompetence or your inability to do something. So that is another thing that we have to remember. So there are 2 points I would like to make. Number one, there is a great need. As a pediatrician, I can tell you, when I started 45 years back, we were quite sort of overwhelmed in treating diarrheal diseases, pneumonias, and even diphtheria, and pertussis, measles. We never thought of anything. When I saw a patient with measles, and some of them died also, but we did think it was, because it was a common thing. Actually, in our MBBS days, medical student days, measles, chickenpox, rubella, these diseases were considered as essential infections, so that you get immunity to the big disease later. So I think from that point of time, today, what is happening? Genetic disorders, cardiovascular disorder, complicated disease. Now we talk about neonatal mortality is stagnant at 21. Why? Because now premature babies are being born who cannot be taken care of. We are surviving. Those low birth weight babies are surviving. So there is no concept of kheragayo. There is no question of child being wasted. Now, when we started, our total fertility was around 6. Now it has gone to 2.1. They don't produce more children. So I think the times are changed and we have to move with the time. So that is number one is there is a great need to move with the time and create facilities for better services. Number two, our team can do it. It is doable. And number three, Dr. Ricard has shown us in doing that it is not doing it for others. It is you are doing it for yourself. For yourself. Compassion means you are looking after yourself, not empathy. Empathy is you are overwhelmed by the by others' problem. There is a burnout, and so I think this concept that Dr. Ricard has explained very clearly today makes it an imperative need that we have to understand that this organization, KIOS, is opening up an avenue for all of us to contribute, to help in whatever way we can, by just spreading the good news or talking to people about, yes, there is a good cause, why don't we help in the kind, or just your goodwill itself is a which will also will go a long way. So I think here I'd like to stop here by reciting one of the sections of Serenity Prayer supposed to be from Saint Francis of Assisi, which says, Lord, grant that I may not seek so much as to be consoled as to console, so much as to be understood as to understand, so much as to be loved as to love. For it is in giving that we receive, it is in pardoning that we are forgiven. I think we need to remember that and work for this cause and think that whatever we are giving, we are getting it back. It is for ourselves. Thank you.